In today's episode of the VARBAR, we will discuss Manchester United versus Spurs. How will City look without Rodri? Is City fumbling Palmer the same way Chelsea fumbled KDB? Is that a thing? And obviously, we will review game week six.
Hey, guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. And we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, the host, doing the absolute most. And I am joined by my compadres. Shout out Chocolate Boy T, aka Toast. Shout out Jake to the Mace, Mr. Walk Through Walls, the gaffer, aka Mace. And shout out, last but certainly not least, you're seeing a new face, but blast from the audio past, Strizza, man, aka C.Strides, man. Chat to me, my boy. You're mute.
Hey, good start. You can tell I've been away for a minute.
I was gonna say, he's been away for a bit.
I forgot how the thing even works. Nah, it's good to be back, man. I can't lie. I've obviously missed being with the boys and that, chatting ball. So yeah, man. Thanks for having me, obviously.
Yeah, man. How's your man's week been, man?
Up, man?
How's your man's week been, man?
Yes, it's been all right, man. I mean, if we're keeping it strictly ball, that's 2 wins in 2. You know what I mean, man? It's September. We don't get too excited, innit, man? We just keep it stepping.
We're counting Bolton and Leicester. Bolton and Leicester now, yeah. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're
they're all counting it, man. You play who's in front of you, my bro. Come on. You get me?
Might say less, man. 2 out of 2 for me as well. I think 2 out of 2 for Spurs as well, Strizza.
Yeah,
but we'll dive into that. Let's start with the second dub of the week for you. You played against Man United at Old Trafford. Before the game, we learned that there was no Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Timo Werner was starting. I was not hopeful, to be honest. I was not hopeful to have my joy back today. But chat to me, man. How did you enjoy that? Because that was a 3-0 pamming. It could have been way more. Could have been 6-7.
Yeah. Proper whitewash settings, man. Like, I think we were unbelievable today. I think, obviously, before the game started, seeing that Son was out was obviously a bit of a blow. Timo Werner, we must be the only club that signed that man twice. I think, like, obviously, he's nowhere near of the level, but I was confident going into the game regardless, because I think United this season haven't been great. And I think despite some negativity around Spurs, like with some, obviously, the North London derby loss and things like that, and scraping past Coventry, things were kind of turning a little bit, but I think that we played well in most of the game. So I was going into it with a bit of confidence. It was a big game. We won the last 3 on the bounce. So, yeah, man, obviously to go out there the way we did in the first 15, 20 and just boss the game. We looked at the home team, to be fair. We silenced them, got the early goal. And, yeah, man, obviously went on from there. But I think before the game, I was confident. I can't lie.
Confident. And after the game now, how everything has transpired? How are we feeling now?
Obviously, I'm buzzing, man. I got the shirt on today, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a big result for us because I think under Ange, prior to today's game, we hadn't won it against the Big 6 team away from home. A lot was said about the Arsenal game, obviously, and sort of our high line and how we set up against big teams. And I think Ange has always said he wants to play the same way, irrespective of who's on the 11, irrespective of what people are saying outside the camp. The players spoke a lot before the game in confidence, saying that they thought they could get at United. I saw Solanke saying positive things, Maddison, Kulusevski. And they went out and delivered. So I think obviously now there's going to be a buzz. We've got a decent run of fixtures coming up in the league. We're only like 5 points off the top. So it's gone from doom and gloom to like a bit of positivity. And I think to keep a clean sheet as well for the first time in the league for God knows how long was also big. And as you said before, like it could have been 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was obviously the Bruno red card helped, but I think even before that we could have been 2 or 3 up.
Yeah.
So I think all in all it was just a good performance from start to finish. And I think hopefully confidence. Solanke on the score sheet again. So it's all looking positive right now, man. Just hopefully Son isn't out for too long, because we saw today with Werner's finishing that he can't be in the 11 starting week in, week out, man, because he could have had a hat-trick himself. So
yeah. No, positive things, man. I think you're finally been rewarded for your good play in certain games this season. So big win. Mace, let me come to you, man, because if we have to let's dissect the goals. 1, 2, 3. And if we have to talk about talk me through the goals, man. Goal number 1.
Well, I'll start with 1, and then the rest can handle 2 and 3. Goal number 1 was just atrocious from a United point of view. How is Van der Ven running through your midfield and you defend like a forward? He literally took the ball and split their team, basically parted like the Red Sea, and then man not cut through. Brennan Johnson scores to go. I honestly, that whole sequence was a great example where United are as a team. What was Bruno doing? What was Ugarte doing? Let's not even deal with Ugarte because
Ugata.
The guy, like, I'm sorry, but like your six should not be letting a defender do that. Like the lack of physicality at that he didn't even challenge. He was nowhere close to Van der Ven. It was just horrendous. It was just People say
Van der Ven was like full pelt though. Like he was steaming, so no one wanted to bounce off him. You know them ones.
Well, no one wants to like stop him from encroaching into the air. What are we doing here? That was a shameless goal to concede. Like from attack to midfield, especially. I'm very annoyed with the Bruno and Ugarte because if you see the goal, he just breezes past them, right? They should have done something, and for me, that's an indication of where United are as a team. That was a terrible goal to concede. So I'm not sure what Strizza thinks about from a Spurs point of view, but from someone who is from a neutral point of view, I was very disappointed with how that goal went in. That was very, 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 very poor from United.
Third minute into the game as well, so very early, and you're already on the back foot like that.
Correct.
The Spurs already smelled blood, and then they took over the game from that point onwards. But let's move on. Second goal, Kulusevski, happened in similar fashion, similar time. After the first half.
I mean, you can't really blame. I guess United were playing with a man down, so it becomes very much trying to cauterize a wound that is happening. Could you blame Kulusevski go on the defending Delap? No. Could Onana have done well? No. It was just a good goal. Honestly, that was a very good goal from Kulusevski. I'm not sure how he did that. That kind of like hook over Onana. It's a great goal. I'll give that to him. I thought that was a really
great
good
touch.
Goal. Yeah, great touch.
And then the last goal, Dominic Solanke, corner from Bergwall. It looked like training ground. It looked like Ange's doing stuff on the training ground. And I mean, what was it? Like Bergwall. Is that his name Bergwall?
Yeah,
Bergwall, right?
Yeah, and then
Papisar knocked it down, and then
Solanke just smoked blood. That was just the movement of a good striker. He just smoked blood, tapped it in, 3. Done. Past the pad.
Game done. Past the pad, man. Now, obviously, shout out Spurs. Good win from them. Toast, man. Erik Ten Hag. Now, obviously, our good friend Mace had a lot to say about Erik Ten Hag last season. They tried to gaslight him. Eventually, he ended up winning another trophy last season. Jay May said, calm. I'll get you, man, back. Now this season has started again. Erik Ten Hag, I think this is back-to-back 3-0, not back-to-back, but 3-0 loss against Liverpool at home and now against Spurs. So against like the traditional top 6, he's getting bullied at home. Is it time to say bye? Trying to be as objective as possible.
I'm glad that we're having this segment right now, innit, man? I'll start with this, innit? 4-0 to Brentford, 7-0 to Liverpool, 6-3 City, 3-0 City, 3-0 Sevilla, 3-2 Galatasaray, 4-3 Copenhagen, 3-0 Newcastle, 3-0 Bournemouth, 4-0 Brighton, 4-0 Palace, and finally 3-0 Spurs. And the man ended the tweet and he's still in the job. I mean, shout out United Cynical on Twitter, man. I mean, he's defined it perfectly, man. Like, my frustration in it with Man United is we actually had cheeky Man United fans at the end of last season talking about who had the better season between Arsenal and and Man United simply because they obviously won the FA Cup. Like that was their Champions League, innit? And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not throwing shade on the FA Cup, innit, man, but you guys remember me saying all of last year, innit? Like when the dust settles, we will remember where we are. Fine, Arsenal. I know this is not an Arsenal segment, but I understand why Arsenal didn't win nothing last year. But we're taking gradual steps. You understand? We're taking gradual steps to become a better team. Like 3 years ago, Arteta finished 5th, 69 points. 2 seasons ago, we finished 2nd, 84 points. Last season, we finished 2nd again, 89 points. We're progressively getting better. Let's look at Man United now. And Ten Hag's first season, fine. They finished 3rd, 75 points. Last season, they finished 8th, 15 points less. So he's already doing worse. He's already doing worse rather than getting better. This season right now, 7 points. Obviously, we're still in September. Currently 12th place. I had to listen to Man United
minus 3 goal difference.
Minus 3 goal difference. Last season, I had to hear Man United fans tell me that, but we gave Arteta time in his 3rd season. Like, not all situations are the same, innit? I'm like, you're watching 2 seasons of bad football. So why are you trying to use the fact that Arteta finally things started to progress for Arteta? Like, you could actually see like what Arteta was cooking at the Emirates. You know what I mean? The season that we actually finished 2nd 2 seasons ago, people had us outside the top 4, like coming into that season. And look at the jumps and the strides that we've made since. And we're looking at Erik Ten Hag. I'm listing off names of games that they had. No one can dispute that this is not his squad now. He's bringing in all of his old boys, like the Leacher, the Butchers, Martinez, his Dutch Dons and the Xerxes. No one can now say, no. This is still Solskjaer's team. This is Ten Hag's team. The football shit. The signings are shit. Like, bro, I'm seeing United fans on Twitter ready to write off Ugarte. We're in September, man. My man literally has only played like three games for the club. Like, so what are we really doing here? Like, his signings are terrible. The football's terrible. The results are terrible. The goal difference is terrible. Bro, like, this is a week.
I've got another stat. Since joining Man United, Ten Hag has conceded 3 goals 25 times.
Lord have mercy.
25 times. That's actually mad because he's 3 seasons. And I wanted to counter attack one of the things that you said, that he's played shit football for 2 seasons. I think he's been playing shit football throughout. Personally, I think the season when they finished 3rd, they were extremely lucky that Liverpool and Chelsea was shit. Liverpool made a late resurgence, but it was a bit too late. Newcastle fumbled the bag. They were shit.
I don't want to give him too much credit in that. Yeah, I agree.
Personally, for me. But and obviously Rashford had a great season that season. Strizza, Mace, anything to add? Obviously, Mace, you're nearly justified. He's not out of a job yet, but you're nearly justified in your Ten Hag.
I'm sorry, man. I think one of the great indicator of a good manager is how you play football. I can give Spurs a blie because, as Strizza has pointed out, Ange will play his football come rain, come sunshine. You know, he believes in the way he plays, right? And it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But we can see that there is good football. There's progressive football being played. Ten Hag, can someone tell me what type of football Ten Hag plays? Strizz, he played them today.
I couldn't tell you. Like,
bro,
the first half we were dominant. They almost half press, then don't. If one man, they go in like ones rather than go as a team. The gaps from attack to midfield to defense, there's gaps all over the place.
So
Van der Ven's goal. Van der Ven's goal is a prime example of like the gaps between players, like how he's driven through, the gap between the 2 midfielders, the defense. Like, yeah, it's all over the place. I think United play in moments. I think they played a moment since Ten Hag's been there. Like, I think most of the time, it's you're waiting for a player to do something. Whether it's Bruno, whether it's Rashford, as opposed to them having a pattern of play or a style or something like that. So, and that was evident today, and it's been evident throughout his tenure, innit? So, let's be real. He kept his job because he won the FA Cup. Because prior to that, he was gone. So, and I think that says it all.
Bro, man, you're sorry, Mace, go on.
No. So just to finish up, so if United like it, I love it. They should Ten Hag in forever. Ten Hag 2030. Ten Hag forever. Give Ten Hag a statue. I'm telling you, please. I beg you on my
back
knees.
back to back terms,
back to
yeah,
back.
like Obama.
Yeah, exactly. Please, because as a rival fan, I'm loving it. McDonald's.
Yeah, man. I mean, my only real point is like, and not to kind of admonish like anything that the players are doing, because the players have to take responsibility, man. But we have to keep it a buck here. Like, I know Rashford's not himself. He's not been himself for a little while. But the likes of like Bruno, the likes of like Mainu, the likes of like Garnacho, the likes of Fernandez, these are top 6 level players, isn't it? Like, let's not kind of act like these aren't really top quality players. You know what I mean?
Who? Name them again.
Fernandez, Bruno Fernandez, sorry, Garnacho, Rashford. Like these are Mainu, obviously. These are players that should be able to get into top 6 teams. And I mean, I'm seeing some faces.
Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry, I have to. Bruno Fernandez. What top 6 team is he playing? Maybe Spurs, if anything. No, as in like in terms of like, that's where I see a gap. Where's Bruno playing in all the other top 6 teams?
No, I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't do the agenda thing you're doing. I think Bruno goes into a top 6 team. He might not start.
He might not start,
but he's on bench.
Yeah. His ability as well, in terms of what he can actually provide a team, is of a top 6 level. Absolutely. Yeah, like I agree. If Bruno was on the market, for instance, I'm snapping him up. I'm keeping it a buck now. I'm snapping him up. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, the thing is, we might have to like tweak his responsibilities and how much you're going to give him the keys to the palace, because I feel as if United have kind of got that wrong from the start, making him basically the main guy, almost like a free role. He can kind of spam crosses, he can spam through balls, like high turnovers. It's not work from that perspective.
Donnies were comparing him to Odegaard. Donnies was saying he's better than Odegaard because he produces more chances and all that.
It's not close.
Where is he playing in this Arsenal team?
When you say Donnies, that's United Donnies. You're not talking about like the Spurs Donnies, like even Liverpool Donnies. You're talking about the
Kenna was saying
okay. Well, quickly, Andy. Just to be clear. So, what in the Premier League? Where is Bruno Fernandez's level in your opinion?
What he's doing with United right now, where they sit in the food chain in the Premier League, that's his level, bro. I don't think like. For me, I know you guys know I've never read, and it's even an agenda thing. I think he's a very annoying footballer.
Yeah,
hot and cold. You hate him or love him. It's like a Darwin Núñez, but obviously he produces way better than Darwin Núñez. Not like that, but it's very like there's something about him that I really don't like. The way he plays ball. He plays ball blindly, and he has ability, of course. If he's focused and if he puts his mind to it, he's brilliant. But more time than not, he's not that. And that's why I feel like what top 6 team at the moment, like traditional top 6 I'm talking about, is having him like that. And if you're telling me he'll be on the bench for the top 6 teams, then that's either Rashford with his current form. Spurs maybe, they need a left winger.
But bro, I mean, like for instance,
I don't think it's Liverpool's team though.
Like, bro, Rashford could get into Arsenal's team or at least battle with Nelly or Nelly's current form on that wing. I'm not saying I'll take Rashford. Like I probably wouldn't have the last 2 years of Rashford. I wouldn't have. But if we're like boiling it down to the actual player, what he's produced over the time of his career, his age, like Rashford is still a top 6 like level player. But my larger point was to say that, and I don't want to like. I understand that the players have to take a lot of ownership, but Ten Hag has not got anything out of these players. Like he's not got any system in place where, other than flashes of brilliance, like a 30-yard volley that Rashford seems to do every season against City that hits the bar and in, or like a mad goal from the halfway line against Liverpool that Bruno seems to kind of pop up with. Other than these like little moments of inspiration here and there, we're not seeing cohesive games back to back. How can somebody in VARBAR group chat tell me last week against Palace, the 0-0 draw was the soccer of soccering, and then this week, only a 1 week removed, it's the worst performance you've ever seen out? Like that doesn't even make. It's not even logical. Like for me, the football is either at a standard where it's shit or it's at a standard where it's good. Like it can't be shit 1 week and then good the next. So for like I said, innit, like people need to start watching football with their eyes, innit. Like United have not looked good at any point under Erik Ten Hag's tenure. That man has to go, innit, man. That man has to go. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I'm betting on that. He won't make it. He won't make it till Christmas. But let's see, man. Another thing that I wanted to 2 things that I want to discuss still. But Bruno's red card. Quickly, what did you guys think? Was that a red? People said orange. People said yellow.
Nah, it wasn't. It's harsh.
It's not a red, man.
Like,
It's harsh. It's
It
very
was
harsh.
quite high though.
it was high, but in terms of the force, if that's like a factor when you kind of factor these things in, it was almost like a scrape as opposed to a, like, you know what I mean? I don't feel as if he got like the necessary force for it to have been violent conduct. In terms of how high it was, fair enough. I can kind of understand no one should be kind of tackling that high, but we've seen like 50-50s. We've seen people do worse in 50-50s, you know what I mean? And stay on the pitch, man. It didn't help that there was an element of him being out of control because he's kind of like almost scrambling on the floor. So they probably held that against him as well, man. But I thought it was harsh personally, man. And I mean, I thought the game was over after that, man. I didn't think United were going to get back in the game after that.
Damn. Striz, man, one last point, man. Brennan Johnson's resurgence since the North London derby. Obviously, after the North London derby, he was getting moved to. I think he had to deactivate his Insta account.
Yeah. He's moving soft. And that was I can't lie, man.
And that was mainly from Spurs fans as well. The abuse he was receiving, right? It was mainly Spurs fans, I think. What have you made of him since? Because I'm hearing 4 out of 4 since.
To be honest with you, like, I've been critical of him. I've been sending him abuse, but I've been saying, listen, like, he's not ever up to the level. I even went as far to say that Hudson-Odoi and Elanga are actually better than him. And if you could give me those two instead of him right now, I'll take him, because I don't see him as an out-and-out winger. But he's turned it around. He's got 4 and 4. I still think he's got a lot to improve on. I still think, obviously, there's parts of his game that are very frustrating, his final ball, things like that. But he always seems to pop up in the box in the right place at the right time. He has got pace, so he's a constant threat. And I'm glad he turned it around a little bit. Obviously, he's not the finished article, but he's 23. So there's improvement. Obviously, Ange has belief in him. He would have signed him otherwise. And there's a lot of things that you can like about him. He doesn't stop trying. He keeps trying to get into the box, keep trying to make things happen. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. Obviously, having Kulu in central areas now with Maddison, and then having Johnson on that side is giving us pace on both sides. And I think before, sometimes with Kulu on the right, as good as he is, like, he's a good dribbler, he's tenacious, we did lack pace on that side. So, yeah, like, I think he's been good. I think he's kind of turned his form around. And listen, like, long may it continue, because obviously when you got to play like that and you spend that kind of money, you kind of want to see something from him, because other people say, oh, it's a waste of money, or the money could have been better spent, and questions start to get asked. So hopefully you can continue it, man.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Shout out Spurs, giving United a work. Got my joy back. Perfect finish to my, to my weekend. And let's start off where it all started off, man. This game week on Saturday, lunchtime kickoff, Newcastle United versus Manchester City, or Rodri-less Manchester City, first time this season. The game ended up a 1-1 draw. My question to you guys is, obviously last season City were without Rodri for a period of games, and that's where they dropped all their points of last season until he came back, and that's when they basically stopped losing. He's out for the rest of the season. How great of an impact is this going to be for City this time around, do you guys reckon?
Big.
Massive. It could turn the title to Arsenal. It could turn the title to Arsenal's way. Genuinely, it could.
It's
There's a
go on, Mace.
There was a stat showing how many games City's won with and without Rodri, and it's just stark. This is stark difference. I can't remember that specific stat, but it was just stark. So if you expand that to the whole of the season, that spells trouble. So you now to ask then who replaces Rodri? I don't think Kovacic. I don't think he does job for them. Nunez, I believe the one they got from Wolves, I don't think he does any job for them. So who drops that? Possibly Gundogan. You're thinking maybe Gundogan might do a job, but then I don't think so. So I think City has a problem. They do have a problem. I do think they will win games, but games like Newcastle, where they need Rodri to marshal that midfield, they will definitely suffer. So I think over the season they will suffer without Rodri. It's facts. Just the stats says that. So Yeah,
brother.
Do you know what was
I
big
totally
yesterday?
agree. Go on.
No,
Sure.
sorry to go on to. Now, I was
No,
going to
no,
say,
go on,
do you know what I think was big? Yesterday, they lacked control. There were parts of the game where, like, Newcastle were getting on top and they were pressing, they were winning it back, and they needed that play, that Rodri to just get it, calm it down, keep it ticking, regain possession, quieten the fans down. They didn't have that yesterday. And it was alarming because every time Newcastle pressed, they were winning it back. They were creating chances. They had City on the ropes. Newcastle, it gets like that. We all know Newcastle, St. James's away. It's not easy, but you need that kind of, you have that 10, 15 minutes where you slow the game down and they didn't have it. And I think, like Mace said, in those games, that's where they may struggle. High intensity games, away from home, maybe that might be it. But I can't see Pep not signing someone similar in January, whether it's Zubamendi or someone like that, just a similar type of player, because I think if they don't, Arsenal win the league, 100%.
So what are you telling me?
Totally
the
agree,
league's
man.
Arsenal to lose, yeah?
Let's just temper expectations, my brother. Hey, man,
I'm happy to run on that train, man. I'm happy to.
I definitely share like and echo the sentiments, Striz, because for me, similar watching that game. Like one thing about Rodri, like he'll pick up the occasional yellow card. He can do his dark arts in his own way, but it's the tempo specialism. Do you know what I mean? He's the tempo specialist guy, bro. He keeps everything ticking. He doesn't get drawn out. And for me, I see Kovacic as complete opposite sort of player. He's the sort of player that will get drawn out. He's the sort of player that's going to be battling with Joe Linton, battling with Bruno, picking up early yellow cards. Got a yellow card yesterday. And then you got Matthias Nunes on the other hand, who, again, baller, but I don't really feel like Pep trusts him. And I don't really feel as if I don't really see him as like a kind of like a deep lying sort of midfielder, if I'm honest. I see him probably a bit playing a bit more further forward, innit? Like at least from like his time at Wolves. So I definitely feel as if them man don't kind of sign a player in that mold to kind of basically replicate what Rodri brings them, they will struggle. And then on top of that, obviously, I don't really know what's going on with this whole Phil Foden situation. More or less player of the year last season, helped them massively to win the league. Can't seem to really get more than like 20 minutes at the end of games. I think he's only started one game this season. It's quite odd. And then on top of that, they're lacking a little bit of creativity, man. Like the usual, I was having a chit chat with my brother about it. The usual kind of like high kind of, don't get me wrong, I know like Haaland has scored every game, but the Newcastle game, but you can't similarly, you can't really replicate what kind of KDB brings. And it was weird yesterday. Like when he brought on Doku and he brought on Savio yesterday, I was thinking, okay, now last like 10 minutes plus however long in added time, they're going to really kind of put Newcastle under some serious pressure, man. That man weren't doing nothing. Like they didn't really create a chance in the last 20 minutes. It was really odd. Like for me, usually in that last 20 minutes, Foden pops up with a goal. Do
you remember last season when it was against Newcastle at St. James as well, I think, and KDB came
Oscar
on
Bob.
and that pass to Oscar Bob.
Yeah, thank you. Like, bro, like that was missing yesterday because I had Savio in my team, my FPL team in it. That was a dumb mistake, but I had him in my team, so I was like watching him in those minutes, and I was like, brother, this guy's not getting into any dangerous positions, bro. It was pissing me off. Like, so I was actually thinking, long may this continue in it. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, like if this is what like City are gonna have to deal with, then it could work in our favor. I mean, don't get me wrong, like they're 4-time champions back to back. Like they've got the best striker in the world. He's got double figures in goals. He averages a goal a game. They're still gonna score goals by design, but I totally agree, man. Like if they're not gonna be able to find someone that can replicate what Rodri does, and Kovacic is just going to get drawn out against these kind of tough tackling midfielders, they're going to have a tough time in these games. I totally agree, man.
So what, like a clear pathway for us now? Like come like February, you man 5 points clear, and then is that what you're telling me?
Well, the thing is, you're trying to, like you always do, which is so you.
I'm just the host, man. I'm just
Liverpool too. Liverpool too.
I'm the host. I'm just asking questions, bro. He's making it sound like, you know what I mean? This is a good thing for Arsenal. So
Liverpool too.
I say less.
Okay.
Let's go to Arsenal then. Next game. Obviously, Hate Watch Part 1 clicked at midday. So we went on to Hate Watch Part 2. Arsenal versus Leicester. Obviously, Arsenal got the hard part out in their first 5 games. Very tough fixture, very tough fixture list in comparison to their to their rivals. So now, obviously, they're looking at their fixtures thinking, yeah, it's nice now. It's nice. Leicester, new promotion from championship champions and all that. Southampton next week. Let's get this over the line with. And obviously, Arsenal, I must say, like, in the end, I think you deserve the win because you were the better team for, like, let's say 60 to 65 minutes.
Yeah.
But how did you guys nearly drop points in that game, man? How were your hearts, man? Because I know in Hackney there were stress levels. In Bristol, the stress levels were even more. How did you guys enjoy that game, man? Because that was mad.
It was a game.
Did you watch it live, Mace?
Yeah, it was a game of I was gonna say two halves, but we then of course did what we did around 90th minute. It's the first half, man. We just blew them away with a better team. Point blank. We're just so much better than Leicester. Martinelli was doing his thing. He scored and assisted. Trossard as well scored. Then second half, bro, everything just turned on his head. To be honest, I would say there was a stroke of luck with Justin's first goal because that if it doesn't kind of ricochet off Havertz, it doesn't put Raya off, and then it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Practice, man.
Yeah. It's just basically it's luck, and you can't do nothing about that second goal. That second goal is just world class. I mean, he hits that ball 99 times out of 100, he doesn't score. So there's not much.
Why not though? I hear when you guys say that.
No.
I was just laughing, like, fam.
Honestly, Andy,
it's them ones where, like, if you catch it on a volley and you hit it right, Strizza, come on, you're a striker.
Andy,
you catch it on the volley, you hit it right with the outside of your foot like that. More time it goes in, you know. I can't lie from that angle. More time.
The angle from behind Justin, the ball looks like it's going wide. That thing swerved in the post, man. That shot was brazy.
Yeah, it was mad.
It's one thing to, like, cut across a shot on a half volley or a volley, but that brother's not hitting a ball sweeter than that in his life again. I'm sorry. Not a right back. I mean, if it was like Mabadidi or like Konate, hold your hand up. Do you know what I mean? It's an attacker. James Justin, come on, man. What are we doing here? Right back square. Come on, man. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I hear
you. And then Leicester's keeper decided to have the best performance of his career. He saved what was it? 12.
One goal. He just do that.
Yeah,
man. They move so shameless, like, bro. Bro, you're still getting paid the same, bro. Like, how many saves are you trying to make in this game?
What's annoying me is he still shipped 2 goals. That's what pissed me off. That's what pissed me off, man.
Yeah, and of course they were talking about Arsenal's dark arts against City. Leicester was pulling theirs, but you know, it is what it is. It's just what you know. Whenever we do it, it's us. But whenever people do it, it's, you know, it's just a blind eye. But it doesn't matter because we scored Trossard own goal for Ndidi, and fucking Jesus decided to be Jesus, and luckily we got a 4th goal out of it. And I need to have a conversation about Jesus with Tokes because I think it's time for him to go. I'm not sure what you might think. I honestly think it's time for him to go.
I think Jesus has firmly established himself as like a squad player at this point. He's not a starter. He's not someone that if he's injured or fit, you're like, oh shit, is Jesus in the team sort of thing. Like, Jesus has really, really let me down. And the regression from like that kind of, I guess we can call it a purple patch in that first season, because at this point, when you look at his whole Arsenal career, it might have just been that, because he's not kind of maintained that level of consistency and performance since. However, one thing I would say is, for me, I still see him as one of those players that he does have that ability to have a moment of inspiration because of his ability on the ball. You go back to the Bayern game, first leg of the Emirates, the little magic that he did that assisted Trossard. Like, in those key moments when I'm always kind of saying Odegaard and Saka don't do enough, Jesus produced a piece of magic, laid off a perfect pass for Trossard to score in a really, really big moment. And that was probably his biggest contribution to our season last year. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I still see him as like a valuable squad player for his ability on the ball in some moments, but he can't be relied upon to score. He can't be relied upon to stay fit. He can't be relied upon to start. I totally agree with you, man. Yeah, so
bro, he's Arsenal's number 9, and I'll leave it there. Like your narrative for number 9 is like he has magic. That's not number 9. You know what I mean?
That's what you said, bro. That's what you told me last season. He got sauce, and now you're at it.
No, I didn't say. Well, let's go back to that conversation. But the whole point is, as a number 9, you should score goals. He isn't scoring goals.
Yeah.
So what is he doing? Anyways, let's move on. We won that game 4-2, and honestly, if we drew that game, I don't know what I would have been doing here because I would have been really annoyed. I would have been
Mace. you know them ones where you're watching a game. And it's like, all right. Is this what we're trying to do? Yeah. Okay. We don't want to win the league. All right. That was one of them. As that result was just the minutes were just ticking by. I was like, okay, cool, bro. No problem. Draw, innit? You're not even doing me. You're doing yourself. Bro. So in fact, if you might want to draw. My head, hey, we could, bro. Under no circumstances could we have drawn that game. So I'm just glad that we can just say, you know what, we got the job done, 3 points, and we keep it pushing, man. But that would have been like a disaster result in the grand scheme of the season. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that, man. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, especially after City dropping points. Strizza, we haven't heard from you this season yet, man. But obviously, you're kind of alluding to Arsenal, your eternal rivals, being like favourites for the league, man. Like, what have you made of Arsenal this particular season, coming back of the disappointment of last season?
Also a good, man. It pays you to say it, obviously, but I need to keep it a buck. Obviously, the best defensively in the league, albeit conceded 2 yesterday. They look
not on paper
forward to a certain extent. Well, maybe not on paper, but like from what I see, I watch football with my eyes, and like even the performance last week against City, people may say it was like a defensive performance, but to keep City out for 45 minutes with 10 men is no mean feat. So I think, you know, the best teams always, or most of the time, are strong defensively. They've got good players going forward. Obviously, missing Odegaard, the creativity to a certain extent, but they've still got class players in 4 positions. Havertz has proved me wrong. I've got to say my bad on that one because he's been performing for them for a long period of time now. Another goal. Saka had a really good game yesterday. So they're up there. They've been up there the last 2 seasons, and we've got to put respect on them because they're the only team that I can see taking City's title, and they're favourites for me. They're favourites. I think Rodri being out, I think De Bruyne's inability to stay fit for the whole season, for the last couple, and as Toe said earlier, the whole thing with Foden seems a bit, I don't know, there just seems a little bit weird things going on at City, man. Like some things just ain't really there. When you got players like Haaland, obviously, you've always give yourself a chance. But yeah, man, I don't know what you think, but I think it really is Arsenal's, not to lose, but it's definitely Arsenal's to gain, because where's the motivation for City? That's what I was saying. Start of the season, where is their motivation to make it number 5? Like, they keep winning the league. It's boring now. Arsenal are hungry. They've got a younger team. They've had the disappointment for the last 2-3 seasons. Now, it feels like it's their time. And I don't want it to be their time. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, it feels like it's Arsenal's time, man. So I definitely have them down as favourites.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. No, it pains you to say that. Shout out Arsenal. They capitalized on City drawing the game. Following game, Brentford v West Ham, and Mbeumo scoring again off the rip. Souček with equalizer 1-0. Next game, Chelsea v Brighton, 4-2 to Chelsea. That game was crazy because I was watching that game instead of the Arsenal game, to be honest. And fam, that game was a whole heap of madness.
I just want to say quickly on that, yeah. I took Cole Palmer out my FPL team, yeah. And when I saw he had a brace in 20, I was like, nah. Yeah. Then when I saw the hat, I was
could have had 5.
Brother.
Should have had 5 goals.
He is a joke, but yeah, I can't lie. That one hurt, man. That one hurt.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, Cole Palmer, like Strizza said, 4 goals. That free kick was crazy. And I don't know if you guys saw the post-match interview, yeah? And the interviewer was asking him, do you practice free? Because it was quite far out, like 30 yards or something. Do you practice free kicks in training? He was like, nah, I just mess about sometimes after training, just a few kicks. And then she was like, so how was you able to put it down there. Yeah, I'm just able to. The only thing I was thinking about was, do I hit it on the left-hand side or the right-hand side? I just hit it bins. I'm thinking, fam, football is so easy to this done.
It's
Fam,
natural.
I hate them, man. That football is like, I had it with years ago, Ben Arthur. Ben Arthur was another don that I looked at, and I'm just like this. Because how do you move like that? And Palmer, I have the same feeling about him. Like, he is absolutely crazy.
Kick, it's nonchalant though. Like, it's like he just. If you see, it doesn't look he hits it hard. He doesn't hit the ball hard. You know, it's just pure tech.
Precision.
It's just
everything
is it's just mad.
He's teched up, man. Teched up, and he's people are screaming he's currently the best player in the league at the moment. Like the first 6-7 games. I mean, I don't know where you guys stand on that, but you can't even really call a player of the league at the moment. But
you can't call it. You can't.
For me, the Palmer thing I don't understand is so like I remember when Foden was kind of first breaking into the City team, like Pep was giving him minutes there, giving him minutes there. He was like, wait your turn, it will come good. But I could see star boy potential in Foden from jump. Do you know what I mean? You were like, this boy's gonna do great things, man. This boy's a real hooper, innit? With Palmer, I feel as if Pep tried to do something similar with him. He let him play here and there, gave him a couple of minutes here and there, but never. From the minutes that I did see of Palmer, unlike Foden, I didn't really see the star boy potential. I saw like a really, really good left foot, but that was about it. Did you really? Did you really
I hear what you're saying.
Another top 6 team and carry them the way he's carrying them like this.
Yeah. No, not like this. No.
This is crazy, bro. Like, brother, he scored.
But okay, so what? This leads me to my next point. Then, is this a fumble on City's part?
Nah.
Oh man,
similar to how Chelsea fumbled KDB.
This is a fumble, man. Yeah. It was. I mean, I think this is he has potential to be one of the best players in England, bro. Like genuinely, I genuinely mean that, one of the best players in the league. Like, bro, the dude is so explosive. The dude has a good eye for goal. Like, the dude can now apparently take set pieces. I've never seen him score a free kick before. Like what can't Palmer do right now? And he's in a perfect situation where he just has that free role. You'll find him like slipping a ball into the channel one time. You'll find him getting in behind the defense like a 9. You'll find him in the cam position. Like, bro, he just floats. And he scored 4 goals in one half. Brother, man hit the post and then had a goal disallowed. Another brazy finish. Man could have scored 6 goals in one half, bro. Are we actually deep in what my man did in that first half?
He scored 3 hat-tricks already for Chelsea. He's been at Chelsea for like what? He signed last season. And to be honest with you, 40 mil at the time seemed a bit mad because he, like Toe said, like, he hadn't really played that consistently. He had moments, and I know he scored in the Super Cup final and he scored in the Champions League, little moments, but I didn't think he was going to be like this. So a year later now, to see what he's doing, that is his team. That Chelsea team is his team. He's the first name on the team sheet. He's the man they go to. He's the one who delivers in big moments. He is world class. And I say that, and people might say it's too early to say it because, one, he ain't played Champions League football yet. And obviously, he's only just got to the England team. But I think he's world class. I genuinely do. I think he gets into any team. I think he gets into City's team now. A year later.
Yeah. I'm confident. I'm happy to say that about him. Like, he's walking into starting lineups in the top 6. Yeah.
Indisputably, man.
Shout out.
Sorry to go off topic very quickly, innit, man. But I was just obviously catching up on Match of the Day, and I was like tweeting about it. I was like, is everyone seeing what I'm seeing? Like, I know it's like a new age of like young managers and stuff. And shout out Ursula, he's like 31, 33. He's quite a young manager. But what was going on with Brighton's high line, bro? Did anyone notice how bad, like, the whole first 45 minutes was just, I was just seeing Dunk running back towards his goal, bro. Yeah. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, and for me, one thing I find so odd, I don't know if it's a pride thing or if it's a trust the system thing, but like, you've conceded 4 goals in this first half. Do you not think at any point, you know what? You're still playing that way, bro. Like, at what point?
But you know what? If you watch the whole game, you know what? Yeah, Chelsea's defense were equally bad, and Brighton had a lot of chances as well. This could have been easily 4-4, 5-4 to Brighton, easily in the same. So maybe he thought they're still there to be got, but I hear you, man.
I
The
also
defending on
think
Brighton's
as
side.
well, my bro. Like, if you have someone of Mickey Van der Ven's probably the fastest centre back in the league, innit? It's somewhat justified if you're going to have a player of his pace and in such a high line. Dunk, bro. That Don runs like he's carrying the Titanic every time, bro. Like, I don't understand how you can justify having him at centre back and a high line on a halfway line. Like, and it's funny because even in the analysis of Match of the Day, like they showed it that they were just doing that quick hot potato ball in between Chelsea, in between Brightons, in behind. It was criminal to watch, man. Honestly, I was like, this can't be Premier League level. Like, nah, man. Brighton, they need to fix that, man, for sure.
Yeah, a learning moment for the young gaffer. Quickly before we move on, like on Chelsea, like I said prior to the season that it will be a while before we see Chelsea being a solid top 4 team again. It will be at least 4 to 5 seasons.
Yeah,
I was at the moment. It's a howler. It's a howler of a statement. A rare L, despite what you might think, a very rare L for me. But what do you guys think about Chelsea's? Like, because when you look at their team, they've actually got a better squad than most in terms of depth, in terms of players. It's only the defense and the keeper. It's a bit iffy. But coming forward from that, the midfield and the attackers and what's on the bench, they look good. But what do you guys think about Chelsea? What do you guys think they're gonna do based on what you've seen so far?
Top 8. That's it.
Oh,
I agree, man. I think
you're not a believer.
The back five stinks, man. The back five completely stinks. Cucurella, I don't rate him. He's improved, but I don't rate him. I don't rate Disassi. You know what? I rate Tosin. I don't rate Colwill. He's so overhyped. I don't rate Fofana post injury. Sanchez he has CTE. Like, because what that boy was doing yesterday was crazy, bro. Like that Donny has a brain injury. He cannot be a number 1 goalkeeper. So for me, that back five is going to cost you. And again, the double pivot for me still does not work in my opinion. Like, I'm not seeing 200 million worth of Enzo and Caicedo. Caicedo is always involved in some sort of evil at some point in the game. But going forwards, I got my joy back. Kennington where I started, baby. 3 assists in 3 games. Are you dumb? Put some respect on Jadon Sancho's name. Are you dumb? Man came from the evil. He came from the evil, bro. They tried to rubbish him. They said he couldn't make it in the Prem. Are you dumb? Shout out Jadon Sancho, man. You got his joy back, bro. Another assist, another ball in behind. He's balling, man. I mean, he's
another start.
Got the left jersey, bro. He's got the start. He's starting the last 3 games, man. So shout out him. People telling me, nah, his style of play can't make it in the Prem. Come on, man. Get out of here with all of that, man. So
yeah, I was one of them.
From an attacking perspective,
even if I lose, I win, bro. That's my thing right now. Even if I lose, I win. Because he left the poison and he's now flourishing elsewhere in it. So I love that. I love to see it. Yeah, let's move on, man. Shout out Chelsea. So Everton beat Crystal Palace 2-1. McNeil, he's like a shit Audi version of Cole Palmer, but scored 1 good goal. Mark Gay, he scored the 1 for Crystal Palace. Yeah, we don't have to go into detail, but Crystal Palace, man, I did not expect this from them whatsoever this season. I thought they would kick. I know they lost Olise, big player, but I still thought they would have enough. And Nketiah coming in as well, adding some quality, but they are struggling. Not even on a Wolves struggling. They are struggling on a worse than Wolves even. They're higher than Wolves, but I don't know. What's Glasner doing over there? We don't know.
I think it's the formation, man. I think I touched on this last week. I think it's the formation. Eze should not be playing on the left.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be playing on the left, and they need to sort out that kind of double, not pivot, but the 2 striker situation.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't be playing on the left. For me, Eze should be central, and they need to have either drop 1 striker, put another midfielder or another attacker, wide attack, and then go, because that formation doesn't work for me, Mob. I'm not sure what you
agree, man.
think.
Top to bottom. Go on, Striz.
No, I was gonna say that not that Nketiah is a bad player. I think he's not. I think he's a good Premier League striker, but they had Mateta obviously finished the season last season really well. Was scoring week in, week out. They've signed Nketiah and they're playing them together and it doesn't work. The split strike, it just doesn't work. I think you got to play one or the other. They try playing Nketiah in a deeper role doesn't work, and this is lacking balance. I think they've obviously sold Elise. Look, you can replace a player like him, but he's obviously a very good player. They signed Emile Sarr, he's not playing. They're trying to, it's just not working. The balance of the team isn't there, and it's showing. And I think sometimes you can just overcomplicate a situation by having too many of players in one. You can't really do that. I like Palace. They're a team that at the back end of last season I was excited to see if they could push on this season, but it looks like they've gone backwards a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know who else I've kind of seen go backwards in these first 6 games, and maybe it's a reach, I don't know, man. But like, we were ready to give like Adam Walton the keys to Southeast London. Do you know what I mean? End of last season, and him and Kamada, that whatever they got cooking in that midfield, from what I've seen so far, that shit is not working, man. Like they are looking so meaty right now. Like top to bottom, Palace are not looking good in it, man. And I know what that club's like in it, man. They will get rid of Klasner in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of Vieira before he had a chance to really turn things around in a good like period of fixtures, and brought back Hodgson, and obviously Hodgson eventually kind of got let go as well. They will get rid if Glasner's not doing the business come, let's say, December, Jan. Hey man, just put your CV on Indeed, man. Boy, trust me.
I said put your CV on Indeed.
For sure, man. Nottingham Forest, they left the undefeatables. They lost to Fulham, who are having quietly a very, very good season. And I kind of like their squad, you know. They have some nice players, bro, over there. Like, they're doing the business right now. Obviously, Raul Jimenez, I think it was a penalty he scored. Nice penalty. And Nottingham Forest lost that game. But then, obviously, the 6:30 game was Wolves versus Liverpool, which ended in a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Konate doing band for band with Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, I mean, he's rising to the top. And he's scoring them goals. That's how many goals for him this season? 3 or 4? Say less, man. Best on paper, best defender in the league. God. Say no more, man.
Yo,
hey,
this
you and Kenna.
But he was the cause for the goal that Alt Rory scored. It was woeful communication. But we'll take that, man. Yeah, go on, Strizza. What have you got to say? You and Kenna, what?
You and Kenna need to stop this Konate and Saliba thing. I know there's like I don't know if it's bad now. Obviously, I'm neutral. Yeah, I'm a Tottenham. I don't really. But Konate cannot.
But what do you think? What do you think we're arguing in this Konate Saliba thing? What do you think? We're not saying that Konate is better, or at least I'm not saying that. I don't know about Kenna. I can't speak for Kenna, but I'm not saying that.
Kenna is. I think Kenna's only thing he could kind of like go off was the fact that Konate was playing for France, and then he got dropped, and Saliba came in and started playing, and now the argument's out the window. You know what I'm trying to say? So like,
you're honourable man.
We watch football. We watch football with our eyes, man. I don't like the fact, like, because I think Van de Ven and Romero are 2 good centre backs, right? Like, people might argue Van de Ven's better, people whatever, but they're not of the class of Gabriel and Saliba. So it's like, and I think the same has to be said for obviously your centre backs. I think Konate's a good player. I think obviously he's good for you lot, but the comparison ain't there. But listen, good goal yesterday. Think keeper should save it. I actually think Wolves played very well yesterday. I think you were lucky. I think they were the better team. The goal kind of came against the right time. Yeah,
I'll let you land. Sorry.
I think the goal came against rather play. The first goal, the penalty is just obviously just silly. And yeah, I don't think you were great yesterday. I don't think you were at the races, man. But you got the win, obviously. You can't be happy with that performance, though. Like,
no. I agree with you in terms of like this was our worst game this season so far, and we got by. We just got by. But obviously, I feel like Wolves. They're a good team. I think they're kind of in a forced position. I think they played good against everyone. I remember the Arsenal game as well, where they hung on there for a long time until Arsenal, towards the end of the game, took it away from them. So I feel like Wolves, this was always going to be a banana slip. This was always going to be a difficult game for us. And I'm happy that we saw it through. But I don't agree with, in the full 90 minutes, that they were the better team. Definitely not. Did the game come prior to the Konate goal? Did they have the upper hand there? Were they showing us things? Yes. Did they test our keeper? No. So I still think like we kept, the chance creation on their side to a minimum, but they did come at us a lot as well. But at the same time, I felt like we had chances to score before the Konate Soboslai, for example. He should have scored this. I don't know what he was doing. And yeah, I didn't necessarily think that they were the better team, but they gave us a run for our money for sure. And I agree with you, we were terrible. But you know, these games happen as well, man. But there's two. Obviously, sorry, we already discussed Konate. Obviously, you guys don't rate. That's up to y'all. We'll come back in May. Another Donny that I want to discuss that has changed my life for the better is Ryan Gravenberch, because for me,
hear the pronunciation.
Come on,
you
man.
get me, brothers, Dutch
like,
brothers. Come on,
you might like to butcher the Dutch names, but for me, obviously, it was known that Liverpool needed a 6. Liverpool went out to get a 6 for seasons. It has not happened. Everyone is rejecting us left and right. Arne Slot is trying to look for an in-house solution. He said, you know, you, Gravenberch, you need to go from box-to-box 8 to you're going to be the 6 for us. And I think, like, in every single game this season, and even in the game yesterday, he was probably our only... He got man of the match, I think, right? Yeah, he got man of the match yesterday. I think he was our only good player, like yesterday, again. And I want to put it out there for you guys, serial Liverpool haters. What is your opinion of Ryan Gravenberch so far? Based on, obviously, last season, it didn't really click consistently, but that now he's being extremely consistent. Even for country, he's being good. So what do you guys think?
You know,
and do you think it's a long-term solution?
I actually wanted to ask you, first of all, what do you think the difference has been? Because if I'm honest, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really recall you and the Liverpool boys showing him that much love last year. I mean, obviously it was his first season, but he just seemed like one of many, squad player now. And now he's seeming like one of your most important players in your midfield. So what do you think has changed between last season and this season?
For me, my opinion was always, I don't know if I brought it into the larger group chat, but amongst the Liverpool guys, I was always like, I'm not going to judge Gravenberch this season because this guy is coming off the back of playing a lot of games for Ajax as a young guy. Then he went to Bayern Munich at the age of, I think, 19 and hardly played. So this guy he's hardly played like football games at top level, like a lot. He's hardly played any games. So he comes to Liverpool and then we're trying to force him these minutes, trying to force him into these games. And he's in the new league, the Premier League. I was not going to judge him. I was really going to judge him this season and see what he would do this season. Did I expect him to be like a starter? I expected him to be one of the players that, like Darwin Núñez, that's going to touch bench, innit? If we got Zubimendi, he probably wouldn't have started. Know what I mean? So circumstances have allowed him to do what he does. But Arne Slot has obviously changed his role for being like, you know, the box-to-box. Maybe he's not disciplined enough to do that, and he gets too happy. But in the 6, just in front of the defense, he does what Arne Slot wants his 6s to do, which is be physical, be there, take out the dangers, but also be very comfortable on the ball, drive the ball. Whenever he collects the ball and drives with the ball, he's giving me Yaya. I'm not gonna lie, he's giving me Torre. There was one moment in like the Wolves game where he collected the ball and dribbled through the Wolves players. I don't know if you caught that, Strizza, where he dribbled through the Wolves players, and but obviously he fluffed this line in the end. But yeah, man, like I said, he's changed my life, man, and I don't want to hear no talk of Zubimendi, anyone coming in, unless they're coming in to chop bench, because I feel like Gravenberch needs to keep this continuity. We need to keep this going, man. Like, are they happy?
Yeah, he's been very good, man. I mean, obviously, maybe he's having a Dutch manager, just someone to come in and give you confidence. Obviously, I know Klopp was a very good, likable manager, but he may have had more of his favourites. But he's taken his opportunity this season, man, and he's been playing well. Like, I've seen like a different side. I'm seeing passing range. I'm seeing driving runs. Like, so yeah, man, to be fair, he's looking good from an individual perspective. But I wanted to ask you though, like obviously Liverpool fan, come off the back of last season, you were kind of there and you kind of drifted towards the end. What is your expectation this season? Like, are you saying you're happy with top 4? Do you think, because you didn't really make many signings, like obviously you signed Chiesa, but in terms of your 11, you didn't make any, right? to actually improve your 11. Like the 11 is the same. So
yeah,
what's your expectation? Are you saying top 4? Are you saying you could challenge?
I'm saying we could challenge. If we could semi-challenge last season, I feel like people even when we were good, people love to write off Liverpool. I've been used to it. Even when you guys people love to write off Liverpool no matter what. So even for me, like with this season, with the same players that kind of done it, but they fell off towards the end of the season. Why can't we be the ones to also challenge Arsenal, to also challenge City, to also be there come the end? Why not? I think like in the first couple of games, we have seen that Arne Slot has taken a more cautious approach. We're conceding way less chances, which is already a huge improvement from last season, which like we conceded easy chances and we were always on the back foot every single game. Now, I know it's happened a couple of times already this season, but I feel more of like a semblance of control. Minus yesterday's game, I feel more like a semblance of control. I feel more comfortable watching us, not knowing that in transition our players are going to be there. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is just like our creativity again, and I'm looking mainly at Szoboszlai because I feel like he needs to be that guy, and he is that guy, like as a player from what we know him as, to provide that, the creativity, the goals from midfield, the chance creations, but he's not really doing that. I know he's in the team for maybe like his defensive attributes, like his running and covering, etc. But he needs to give way more. So a lot will depend on, will our players stay fit? Will we be able to manage the Champions League and the league? After the international break, it will tell a lot about Liverpool and what we're made of. And we got Chelsea, we got Arsenal, we got Villa, Palace, Real Madrid. So I think after the international break, that's where a clearer picture of where Liverpool is will be painted. But I am of no doubt that, Arne Slot can definitely work magic and help us challenge. But what will leave me satisfied is like possibly a top 3 finish and a trophy. I think with that, Arne Slot will probably have done enough with a squad that's not his in his first season in the English game. So top 3, not top 4, but top 3, like 3, 2, 1, and any trophy, I'd be calm.
Fair.
Any last words on Liverpool? Are we happy to move?
Nothing for me, man. I mean, you guys are playing well. Obviously, I know we discussed it earlier briefly. It's still. Let me not say the jury's out on Slot, but for me, it's still too early to be kind of saying this or that about Slot. I definitely feel as if like Liverpool fans, you guys didn't have like real success for a long time. Do you know what I mean? And then Klopp came in, he got you a Champions League, he got you a league, he made you like perennial kind of like challengers for the league. Do you know what I mean? And suddenly it's like they've just handed you Jesus Christ on a platter of gold. The way you guys are moving about Klopp and the way you're talking about Slot now, like this isn't still the majority, still Klopp's team. Do you know what I mean? And shout out Slot as well, because I remember in the United game when they asked him in the interview, what he thinks kind of went right in that game, he credited a lot of the stuff that Klopp has already done. And what he says he didn't want to basically start from scratch in terms of his philosophy. He identified that a lot of the things that Liverpool already had in place personnel-wise and tactically already worked, and that he was just going to kind of add his own like sprinkling to it. So shout out at him for that, because he sees the imprint that Klopp left behind a lot more than a lot of the fans seem to be seeing, innit, man? But Liverpool playing well in it, man. I give you guys your credit. You're picking up results. Wolves away is never an easy one, but yeah, man. I mean, I still personally think you're the third best team in the league, and I actually think it's very, very disrespectful of you to, for some reason, seem to think that you're better than Arsenal now when our team has largely not changed and your team has largely not changed. But when we were in April last year, we were winning game after game, and then you guys fell off a cliff. But we still have the same teams. But suddenly Liverpool are better than Arsenal now. Like, I don't see the logic behind that personally, but you guys know my phrase, innit, man? When the dust settles, we'll know who everyone is. We'll see where everyone is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not worried. Like, do you know what I mean? Game week 9, I'll see you at the Emirates, and I'm standing on business. We'll run you out of the Emirates, bro. We will run you out of that stadium, bro. Like, so come prepared, put your best work in, whether or not we have 30% possession, 70% possession, it don't matter, innit? Like, Liverpool has done
I'm happy you put that. Are not
better than Arsenal. So, hey, man, let's just see how we go in it, man.
Right,
that's your opinion, man. I'll definitely clip that.
Come on, clip it, where?
I'll definitely clip that because for me, like, let me comment on your Slot and Klopp comparisons, because I've been hearing that a lot from Liverpool fans as well, where like they're acting like Klopp was a nothing man, especially they're basing up possibly on last season. We still won a trophy, I think. Yeah, that's nonsense, to be honest. That's absolute nonsense. You have to put respect to your predecessors, and obviously Slot does that really well. He always makes sure to credit Slot whenever he can. And I think as fans, we need to do that as well. Personally, like, I know Slot. He coached my team that I support in the Netherlands, so I know all about him. People have been quoting me on Twitter where I said that this guy needs to be our manager way before Klopp announced basically that he's leaving. So I already know about Slot in it. So my confidence in how my team will perform, what Slot will do, what Slot can do, is based on that basically. Like, I know what he could pull a rabbit out of a hat out of nowhere. He's a mad tactician. He's a madman. He loves the game, innit? So that's where I'm basing my personal love up from Slot. But it's never to disrespect Klopp and what he did, man, because we were in the gutter prior to him. So shout out to him. And obviously the last game that we're gonna cover, Ipswich versus Aston Villa, ended in a 2-2 draw. Rory Delap coming out party, 2 goals.
That second goal,
Rory's son, innit?
Rory
second goal.
Rory playing, is he? Rory back?
Yeah, man.
Resurrection, you get me?
Bro, what was I gonna say? City are feeding the league, you know how they say like United got like lots of their academy like across the league, but they're whack. I'm hearing Michael Keane, I'm hearing like them dead Donnies, bro. But City actually got bought, like Morgan Rogers, Palmer, Delap, like
Delap
crazy
Donny, yeah.
Sancho, like crazy Donnies, bro. City, yeah, them what they're cooking over there is crazy, man. But yeah, Delap, quickly on him, man. What are you guys telling me if you watch that?
Yeah, man. He had a good game, man. It's funny, man. His aura, the way he carries himself, even the way his jersey looks on him, he looks like a non-league player, bro. It's hard to describe. He don't look like he is like a proper Prem baller. I just scored a brace against one of the best teams in the league, but he's a handful, man. Like, and it's funny because when you watch ball long enough, sometimes you actually kind of predict what people are about to do. I was watching the game with my brother, and I was looking at him one-on-one with Diego Carlos, and I was like, if he just gives him one little step, he's gone. And Carlos fell for it. Man was in the blender, man was in the NutriBullet, and then bam, man pammed it in the corner, man. Like 2 very well taken goals, and in a promotion team, yeah, chances are few and far between. You need to kind of get your fans behind you and stuff, and took 2. Yeah, man, both goals were very well taken. I think that's 3 league goals now. So yeah, man, looks like a good young player, man. If he can continue like taking his chances.
Yeah, man. Shout out Delap. Quickly before we head to the bar, man. Still have to give some love to Spurs. Collected a dub in the Europa League in your first Europa League game. You had 10 man, right? You played with 10 man against Karabag. Yeah. I watched that game. What was the score? 3-0?
3-0 in the end. Yeah, it could have been 4-3, could have been anything.
But how did you feel about that performance?
Obviously there was a lot of talk because obviously Arsenal played City and they went down to 10. And we went down to 10 and everyone was saying, this is how you play with 10 men. Let's be honest, we're playing Karabag. We're not playing the best team in the world, arguably. So there needs to be context, right? But I think the performance after going down to 10 was good. I think we tried to keep playing our way, and I like that. But at the same time, the risk element is just ridiculous at times. Like, if they took their chances, we could have been 2 or 3 down in the first half. They kept missing the chances. We obviously took our chances. We were ruthless, which is not like us to be. But yeah, they missed a penalty. They missed a tap in. Giza missed a 1-on-1. It was a bit of a show.
They were good, man.
I think they were good. You know what they were good at? They pressed. And I actually, because obviously you play the team in the Europa League, you do a little bit on them. They obviously took Leverkusen all the way last season in the Europa League. There was another team they played as well that they did well against. So they were triggers for the press, and they were good. And they had a couple of tricky players in the forward position. So they're not a bad side, but yeah, we got the job done.
Obviously, they beat Madrid before as well. Couple seasons in the Champions League, I
don't know what you think, innit? If you watch the game, this way of playing, this high line and whatever, like when you've got Van der Ven in the back line, you can do it. But you see with Dragusin, he come in, he's not got the same pace as Van der Ven. He got caught out, he got punished, get sent off. But we're still playing the same way. With Ben Davies in the back line, I like Ange. I like his way of playing. I like the fact he's forward thinking. And I think he gets a blight because we had Nuno and Jose and Conte and it's negative and no way of really playing. He almost gets a blight for, Spurs are giving it a go. It's how we are. It's who we are. But at some time, it's just stupid. It's infuriating. And against a better team, we'd have lost that game. And I don't know, man. I just think you have to be able to adapt to situations. If we want to go far in the competition, which is a competition I think we can win, people are going to laugh at me. I know the man them are going to laugh because Spurs don't win nothing and all that fuckery. But I think that this is a trophy that we can win. And if we do that against the better sides, we'll get punched.
Yeah. Shout out Spurs for that one. I think Arsenal, Liverpool, we had League Cup duties as well. You know, Arsenal dusted off Bolton Wanderers 6-1, 6-2, 6-1, 5-1. Yeah, 5-1. Yeah, Liverpool same score against West Ham as well. So business was done over there. Let's head over to the bar. Who's got shots for the bar, man?
Yeah, I got a shot.
Yeah, same.
It's been a long time coming, man, but it's getting hot like Nelly.
Shall I play the Mist?
Legend in the game, Machiavelli. Big performance from my boy Nelly. The fan base been getting onto him, rightly so. He's been out of form back in the last season, started this season. No goals, no assists, getting lots of touches up that left wing. And when you look on the right wing, the production that Saka's given us, he's basically been like a -1. So it was good to see him get off the mark. Good to see him get an assist as well for confidence. Again, if we want to try win the league, he can't have another season where he only scores like 5 league goals. Like, do you know what I mean? We need to see, production from him. So I'm hoping the fact that he's not got dropped at any point to Raheem Sterling, who's kind of almost seems like he's getting closer and closer to playing larger minutes. I'm glad Arteta's kept the faith in him. He's got another start, got another goal, got another assist. So yeah, man, shout out Nelly for obviously getting off the mark for the season, and we keep on pushing until next week, man.
Hot like Nelly. Mace, Strizza, any shots?
Yeah, I got a shot, man. My shot goes to Ethan Nwaneri. Boy, his first start for Arsenal, he bags 2 goals. That's big. He's only 17-year-old, and it's not a lot of times you see a 17-year-old come on the pitch and you think he's ready, and that boy is ready. So my shot goes out to him. He's going to be a future star for Arsenal, and I can't wait to see what he can develop into. So I'm excited.
Shout out Ethan, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Ethan.
I got one. I think he's been our player of the season so far, and I'm really excited about this new role he's got there. And Kulusevski, I thought he was man of the match today. I thought he was unbelievable, both going forward and defensively. He always works his socks off. The finish was class, and this new role in midfield, man. I'm liking what he's cooking in there with Maddison. Maddison's playing slightly deeper. He's getting into pockets, and he's a very good player. And I think if he can continue, then we can really push for something, man. I really want a trophy this year, boy. Like, I need a trophy bad. So let's just hope we can do something. Brother, listen,
y'all are starving in North London.
Brother, I was a youth when we last won something. So boy, just please bring something to me this season, job, please. But yeah, Kulusevski, man.
Man won the knife, fork, plate, anytime.
Hey, Strizza, can we deal with the fact you left the group chat, man? That was hilarious. You're back now.
I'm back now. Listen, head not even on Mars, like, but you got to remember, yeah, obviously you got you, man, you got Arsenal fans. Obviously, Shaz, he's obviously in the chat now, one of my best mate, Arsenal fan, brother, Arsenal fan, work colleagues, Arsenal fan. It's just Arsenal fan everywhere. Obviously, I went to the game as well, so I've taken train. I've been up from early. I get there, the buzz is there. I watch it live. We don't score, we lose. I travel back. I get the train back. The train's delayed for 2 hours. Like, everything just went wrong that day. And then, you know, it's just one of them ones where head was gone and Munya's tagging me in tings. And I'm back now. I'm back on the pod as well. First time in a long time. So, yeah, man. Listen,
back again.
And, yeah, man. I want to face up to everything. I know, man, I got a lot to say about Tottenham. So, yeah, when I'm here. Repping. Let's go.
All right, man. Thank you guys for listening to the pod. Thank you guys for joining. Toast, Mace, Strizza, my fellow Compodres. Thank you much for pulling up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on VARBAR Podcast on the socials. And obviously share this as well. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. We are the VBP, man. Peace.
Peace.
In a bit.